Welcome back to Closet Talk with J Kitty. I'm losing my voice, so y'all gotta bear with me or whatever. It's been a week since I dropped a podcast episode because honestly, the last episode really put me in a funk. Like, I was triggered as fuck, and it didn't really hit me until I listened to it, and I'm just like, damn. And then it just brought back memories and shit, and I just had to mentally get myself together before I came back on here. But like I said, we are going to do the part 2 with just a few stories. I got 3 or 4 stories that I'm going to post on here today. Just to add a little content, since I've been dry. And since I did say that I was going to do this episode. So let me go ahead and drop a trigger warning. This episode has recordings of violence, verbal abuse, let me say that. And if yelling and saying certain things, like calling you out your name and shit like that, if it mentally puts you in a place, if you experienced abuse or seen it or whatever, and it mentally puts you in a situation where you're just not in control and you feel like it's going to take you somewhere you don't want to be, there's the trigger warning. It's in here. I'm not going to lie to you, it's in here. So, go ahead to skip this one. I'm going to have some more content for you, but I just don't want to put nobody in that situation. So, this one ain't it. Yay! Alright, so let's get into it. It's Talk About It Tuesday, so boom, I'm not gonna make this one too long. I'm gonna just drop the stories, give them a little intro, and then we gonna be out. So this first story, it is about that dog is so annoying, bruh. Like, I be in here trying to sleep. I'm in my room, right? I be laying down, minding my business, and out of nowhere, you just hear this dog barking. Like, bro, do y'all ever have this dog in a house? Like, ever? Isn't that that's animal abuse, right? Because they always got this dog outside. Like, and it's hot as fucking Texas, so I know it's thirsty. But anyways, I'm going to get a video's an intro, and then I'm going to drop them or whatever. Again, like I said, the last episode really had me in a funk or whatever. Like, in my feelings to the max type shit. So I don't really have too much to say this episode. It's just going to be other people's stories. And at the end, I'll tie it all up and talk about Saturday's episode. So let's get into it. We all know abuse can be mental, physical, emotional, sexual, all that type of shit. We know it can be from people we know, strangers, you know what I'm saying? Anybody. This first story, this girl experienced abuse from a family member. So, yeah, here we go.
So for me, it happened when I was 4. The first time it happened, my mom and dad asked my rapist if they could put me on the school bus and get me ready for school and things like that, because usually my parents did. This particular day, they had to go out of town to do something business-wise. My rapist was 14, also my brother. He makes me this big breakfast. Every kind of food you can think of, it was there. Me being 4, it was a lot of food. So we eat, I'm watching TV. I wanted to stay upstairs and keep watching cartoons, but he insisted that I went downstairs. So we go downstairs, and he takes my clothes off. And he's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not doing anything towards you. I'm not hurting you. I'm not hurting you. I'm not hurting you. Me being 4 and him being 14, I always chose his word over mine because he's supposed to be like my protection. So it just started happening. Like, he got on top of me and he started going at it. Everything else was like a blur in that moment. Like, I just tried to block it out. So I eventually get back dressed and I go to school, and like part of me just felt like I died. When I got on the bus coming home, he was there to like get me off of the bus, and I remember looking him dead in his eyes. I look at him and then I just go back to sleep as if nothing ever happened. And then another time, same guy, maybe a few days later, he's in the bathroom and he calls me in there. I was trying to have my mom help me with my skirt. And he did it. He made me give him a hand job and a blow job. And obviously it was wrong and it wasn't something that I wanted to do. But again, as he says, he wasn't hurting me. And again, I knew it was wrong. I just didn't know why it was wrong. I didn't know. There was another time that I remember. I was in the bathtub and he tried to rape me in the bathtub. It was just a lot of moments that kept happening until I was 8 years old. So I came out and I told my mom when I was 17. I had all kinds of nightmares. I kept crying. I couldn't dress like normal girls did. I hid behind social media. I masked myself because that's where I was the most comfortable at. I was suicidal. I was depressed. Very dark spot, everything. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I came out and I told my sisters first. My sisters, some of them already experienced it at a young age by their personal father. We don't have the same dad. And then with me, I told her, and she's just like, I told my mom, and she's just like, well, I don't believe you. And in that moment, it did hurt a lot. But it didn't matter because I didn't have to hide anymore. I could truly be myself. I could truly be free. I could truly be happy. And I mean, I still wasn't happy, but I was definitely like, I felt free in the moment. And then when I was 19, someone, a spiritual person, told me that I had to tell him again. My grandma and dad came through spiritual-wise and were crying and saying I didn't know. My dad said if he knew, he would have killed him, all of this stuff. And I knew he would have. That's why I never said anything. And ironically, I told my mom again. She didn't believe me. The second day she calls me and she's crying and she's saying she's sorry. She didn't know. And then she brings up this story when I was 4 or 5. They went to go see a concert. And they came back. I had a butcher knife in between my mattress because I was going to kill my brother if he tried to do it when they were gone because I was scared and I didn't know what else to do. So yeah, and it was hard, especially trying to be suicidal and battling your own thoughts and things like that. Obviously, when I tried again, Spirit's like, no, you have a greater purpose. You have a calling. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be done. And yeah, along the process, I've hurt a lot of people and I've done a lot of things that I should have never done. And it was just simply because I was hurt. And I guess hurting people while you're hurt, it doesn't get you anywhere. But thank you so much, Jazz, for having me. I appreciate it. And I hope that this does help someone.
No problem, mamas. Okay, boom. What fucked me up the most about that story is like when people tell their parents or tell somebody that's close to them and they don't believe them. It's like, bruh, she took it well. Like, it's like, okay, it was a weight lifted off her shoulder. Some people, it's like getting it out is not it. They want to know that somebody believed them. Somebody understands like, oh, this happened to you. Let's get you help. Not somebody that's going to sweep that shit under the rug. Because it's like, it's just going to keep happening. It's like, I could have kept this shit to myself if you weren't going to do nothing about it. This next story, dog, like, just listen to the difference in how she tell her story versus the recordings that I got of, like, the conversations her and her abuser had. Like, you can tell just in her voice when she away from them, she got so much more confidence than she do when she in their presence. And that shit, it's just like, bruh, it's shit wild. Just watch.
Okay, so I met my girlfriend in February, and at the time I was living in Tyler and she was living here in Dallas. She would come down on the weekends to like come see me, and we would just like do the whole back and forth thing. And then she asked me to move in with her. I think we'd been talking for about like maybe a month. And when she asked me to move in with her, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to get out of a very abusive situation, because my home life at the time just wasn't great. My family was being very physically and verbally abusive, so I was like, okay, this is my way out. So I came up here with her, I'd say maybe around like March 14th, to move in with her. And everything was fine for like a few weeks. Everything was great. And then I noticed things like slowly started to get weird. And it made me like uncomfortable, because I'm like really affectionate. So she would leave to go to work, and I would like want to give her a hug and tell her, you know, bye, like I'll see you later, I love you. And she would like always push me off. And that was like the first time for me, because it wasn't like oh, move, I'm gonna be late for work. It was like an aggressive like get off of me type thing. And so I was like, okay. After that, it just started like happening more. She started becoming really verbally abusive, and it actually got to the point where like she would threaten me, she would pull knives on me. She works in security, has a gun. She would pull her gun on me. We had just gotten into an argument the other day, and she burned my ankle with a lighter. I have like a burn on the back of my ankle. She burned me with a lighter. And she'll say these things like, oh, you're useless, like nobody wants you, nobody will ever want you. If you can't be with me, then you can't be with anybody. She bought me this phone because I didn't have a phone for the longest, and my uncle called me the other day, and literally the whole time I was on the phone with him, she was sitting next to me with a knife in her hand. And I can't talk to my family. If I do, she gets really upset. I can't talk to my friends that I have back home. I literally, like, none of them want to be friends with me anymore. I don't talk to anybody anymore. She gets upset when people call my phone. I used to like do shows and go around town back home singing. So I have like producers that I used to work with back home. She gets mad when they call. I don't get to work with them anymore. Singing was like one of the things that was like my outlet for me. So I don't get to do that anymore. That hurts my feelings a lot. And it's just like, it bothers me, because when we first started talking, she was like, she knew my situation. She was like, I want to take you away from that. And so for me, it's like, why would you say you want to take me out of it just to bring me back into it? And it's been really hard for me to kind of, you know, adjust to having to deal with things like that every day, because it's like, I'm one of those people where I love very hard, and I'm very attached, and I know that it's not something that I need to stay in. It's not something that's helping me grow. And it's really hard when you have to come to terms with the fact of knowing, like, hey, this person really doesn't feel the same way that you feel. And I have to remind myself every day that, like, nothing is wrong with me, even though, like, I honestly don't even believe myself when I say it. I have to just, like, okay, like, you're okay, nothing's wrong. Like, I'm literally having panic attacks every day. I don't sleep because I'm always scared she's going to do something to me in my sleep. She has cameras in the apartment, and it's just, like, it's really weird. And it's it's hard. And I'm trying to figure it out and make it through. But yeah, it's been very difficult. I went home for about a month, and during that time, I just tried to recollect and find myself again, and I was okay. And I ended up coming back because I was like, I love you. I should have stayed home, but I didn't, because I felt like I would be doing her wrong. And it's weird, because I always feel guilty for doing what's best for me, because I care about people. And so it's really hard, because internally I'm always having this war between my mind and my heart, and it's like I never know what to do. But I don't want to be with somebody that I'm like afraid of. And so it's really hard. I remember a few weeks ago we went to Torchy's, and we had gotten into an argument in the car and pulled over, and I had to use the bathroom, so I got out. She was on the phone with one of her friends talking about like how I'm such a stupid bitch and I'm ugly and all this stuff. So I went in the bathroom, and one of my friends called me to check on me, and I answered, and I was like, okay, like she's not in here, so I can go ahead and take this call. I'm talking to my friend, and she comes into the bathroom, and she hangs up the phone, and she just looks at me, and I'm like about to start crying at this point. And she says, now I see why men hit women, because you're this close. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you need to come on before you get left. And I didn't even say anything. She walked out of the bathroom, and she swung the door back so far that it cracked one of the mirrors that they had on the wall. And I said, why do you have to be rude all the time? She came back into the bathroom. She literally like choked me, had me pinned up to the wall. And she told me that she would kill me. And she walked out. She was like, let's go now. And there actually was a woman in the bathroom. And I was gasping, for air. And I'm crying. She asked me if I was okay. And, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. And at this point, I've just kind of gotten used to dealing with things like that. And I know that's probably not best. But, I mean, I'm used to it now. And it's like, I feel like it's normal. And I have to, like, constantly tell myself, like, you don't have to be treated like this. This is not normal. It's not okay. And at this point, I've just kind of tried to mold myself into what she wants me to be. And I'm like, well, yeah, maybe she is right. Maybe I am useless. Maybe I am ugly. Maybe I am fat. Whenever I eat, she's like, oh, you're going to miss a few meals. And, like, I love to cook. I would always buy groceries for us so I could cook for us. And she would always just, like, eat to where there wasn't really enough left over for me. Just, like, little things. I don't really eat anymore because she wants me to lose weight. So I'll probably eat, like, a few crackers during the day, and that's it. Because that's all she wants me to eat. And, like, I'll have water. That's it. It's been really difficult. It's been like a huge turnaround in my life for me within these past few months, and it's not been a great one. I miss my family, and I can't speak to them like I would want to, and it just hurts because I want it to work, but I don't think that it will. And I think that I've gotten comfortable and I've allowed it to happen. I literally told her that if, like, hitting her and hurting me makes her happy, then I'm okay with that, because I want her to be happy. And that's when I, like, realized that I was, like, in too deep, I guess. I don't know.
All right, so boom, that's her story, and that's her voice when she chill and mellow. Now listen to these recordings that she sent. These are conversations between her and her abuser. And it's like, they not even conversation. The abuser just talking and talking and talking. Like, all right, shut the fuck up at this point, bitch. You said what you said, bruh. Like, leave it where the fuck it's at. And going about your business. But no, y'all gonna see, like, she continues, like, she exit, like, mentally abusing this girl. Like, it's crazy.
Why don't you talk? I don't have anything to say. I'm useless. Oh my god. So why even record the little bit of useless material that you did? Why? Answer that. What? Why did you do that? Huh? Why did you do that? Because you wanted to give me the idea or the thought that you actually weren't doing something that I asked you to do? Excuse me, something that I needed you to do? Is that why you did it? A little fake? Because you definitely got me. Oh, you got me. Why'd you do it? Right. And so I asked you to record. I guess I should have been a little bit more direct and specific, apparently. Because when I asked you to record, I don't want to reminisce over the walk to the door. Of the ground, of the shoes. Of the concrete, how the concrete was. Great, that's real great. I got a good visual of what the concrete leading up to the door looks like, yes. Oh my god, yes. That was the cherry on top of this whole world, yes. Perfect. You did it perfect. You recorded perfect. You did what I asked, actually, yes. Because I, you know what, I wasn't specific. I should have said, hey, please record beginning, middle, and end of this whole event so that in the event that I need to go back or it's their word against mine, I have proof. But it's my dumbass fault for not being so specific with my smart-ass girlfriend. Yes. My bad. I should have been way more specific. I didn't think that I'd have to break it down like that. I didn't. I really did not think that I was going to have to physically give you a step-by-step on how to pull out your phone. You seem to be good at videos and everything else. You can Snapchat and make live videos. You can do that well. I guess I should have asked you to put this on Facebook Live. Or maybe go on live with your friends. Maybe I should have asked you to do that. And then maybe you would have had an idea of doing what I asked you to do. Or been smart enough to do it the way that I wanted you to do it. Maybe I should have just did it that way. I should have just said, hey, why don't you just get some footage of this? Maybe I should have just did that. And then maybe you would have actually understood and done what it was that I needed you to do. But I just don't understand that. But I'm stupid. That was my fault. I should have been way more specific. I should have said, put this on Snapchat or something. Maybe you would have understood that and did it correctly. Maybe I should have asked you to put a filter over it. You would have been really good at doing that. Wow. I should have just said, fuck me over, because that's basically what you did.
Bro, wait. Like, and I ain't gonna say too much because I don't want to seem like I'm judging somebody's situation. But it's just like, she a fucking dick, dog. Like, a fucking dick. And just hearing the way she talked to this girl, it's just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you're not in control of her. Like, is she your girlfriend or is she your slave? Because it seemed like you mad as fuck because she ain't do this one thing for you. Like, it shouldn't get that deep to where, something ain't happened, so boom, I'm finna get on your ass. Like, you ain't do this, I'm finna get on your ass. Like, what the fuck? The girl just overall fucking verbally abusive. Like, this a voicemail that she sent her.
It's not working out. We're done. I'm fucking breaking up with you, so we fucking clear. Get the fuck out of my house, Messiah. Get the fuck out of my house.
Fucking crazy. And then, okay, so this the last story from this part of this the last part of this story. All right. Basically, she the type of abuser where if you don't do what they say, anything I gave you, give me all that shit. Give me all that shit. If, this my house, get out. This my car, get the fuck out. I bought you them clothes, give me that. That food that you finna eat, regurgitate that. She that type of bitch.
Let's go, Messiah. Come on.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Come on. Let's go.
I'm not going anywhere.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go now.
No.
Why? You asked me to get you home.
Okay.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
No.
Give me the phone.
No.
Then get out of my car. And give me the phone that I'm paying for. Because you ain't contributing with that. Let's go. You're really not doing a damn thing. But taking up space. We're being honest with each other, right? Because I've asked you to get a job for a month now. So come on. Give me the phone that I am paying for. Unless you got $250. So give me the phone.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Don't touch me.
Give me the phone then.
No.
Give me the phone.
Don't touch me.
Give me the
Don't
phone and
touch
give me
me.
my house key. Now give me my phone.
No.
Give me my phone.
No.
Give me my phone back. Right now. And get out of my car. Right now. Right now. Take off the shorts I gave you. The shirt and the shoes. Yeah, you want that? That's what you want to do right now? Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Don't touch me.
Give me the phone then.
Move.
Give me the phone.
Move.
Messiah, give me the phone. Move. Why are you kicking me?
Move.
Give me the phone.
Move. Move.
Give me the phone.
Can we have a civilized conversation?
Oh, so you didn't just kick me. So that's civilized. Sure. Get out of the car. Yeah, let's be civilized. Like you didn't just kick me. But I've put my hands on you. Okay, like your mom did. Okay, yeah. I'm busting your lip, right? Okay. Get out of my car. Right now. Let's go. Come on. Go get all your shit. Come on. That's what you're gonna do, right? And get all your shit? Come on. Let's go do all that. Come on. Let's go get that done. That's what you're gonna do anyway, or what, you gonna wait till I go to work? Right? That's what you're good at. You know, till I go to work. Okay. So who's coming? Who's coming? Who's listening? Because you're recording now, right? You can do that now, right? But you can't do what I fucking asked you to do. Get the
You
fuck
know
out
why
of my car.
I didn't do that?
Get out of my car.
You know why I didn't do that? I told you why I didn't do that.
Get out of my car. And go pack your shit. 'Cause I already know you're gonna do it anyway. Oh. See? Come get your shit. Out of my car. Credit card, Maggie. Come get your shit.
Oh, yeah, don't want you taking that. My bad.
Come get your shit. Hurry up. Get your shit out of my house. Who's coming? Here? Let's go. Get the fuck out of my house. Get all your shit out of my house. All of it. Let me just take that too. No, Maggie.
No, this is what you want, right?
No, I just wanted my girlfriend to help me out. For once since she's been here. Let's role play. Let's role reversal. How would you have done it? Hey, can you please record my hitting me? Sure, absolutely. So if some shit goes down, it's our video versus what they're telling people. Abso-goddamn-lutely. Why, babe? Because I love you the way that I say that I do every fucking goddamn day when I'm bothering you when you're trying to fucking go to sleep. Yes, I'm gonna record because that's what you asked me to do. You said, hey, come with me and record the situation. And I love you. So I'm gonna do that because I love you. And that's what you asked me to do. Something like
He was
that.
standing right next to me, which is why I didn't record, because he was watching my phone the whole time.
Who gives a fuck? He can't touch you. You really think I was gonna let him touch you? Are you fucking kidding?
I don't know them. I was scared. I am so sorry.
I've been dealing with that shit since 2010. My aunt witnessed it. I should have just brought my aunt.
Did y'all hear what she said? She said she been going through that shit since 2010. That right there just show you most abusers, not all, some people just ain't shit, but most abusers are victims of abuse themselves. And they don't really know how to... I'm not making an excuse. First of all, let me say this. I ain't making an excuse for nobody because at the end of the day, she's still a horrible fucking person, regardless of what the fuck she going through, because you still shouldn't have put nobody through that bullshit. First, you know how I feel. You know how I feel, so why would you put somebody else through it? But again, what I was saying was most abusers are victims of abuse themselves. This next story, I would say the lesson behind this one is if you are leaving an abusive situation, don't rush into another situation until you healed from the last situation. Because it's like you're not thinking straight. You're not going into that level-headed. You going into that hurt. Anybody who gonna love you, you gonna accept they love type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you'll put up with a lot more bullshit coming out of something like that. You're way more vulnerable, first of all, and a lot of people will take advantage of that. But all right, here we go.
Okay. In 2017, I moved to California
And shortly after I moved to California, October 2017, maybe like a month later, I met this guy, and he basically tried to get with me. He was very persistent in trying to talk to me, and eventually I gave in, and basically gave him some of my time to get to know him so we could get to know each other. And it seemed like, he was a nice guy. He was about his money. He just seemed perfectly fine. He seemed sweet. He seemed mannerable and all of that. But I would say April of 2018, he ended up going to jail. And I pretty much held him down while he was in there. And he got out probably August of the same year in 2018. After he got out in August, maybe 2 weeks after he was released, everything just went left. Like, he was very rude, very disrespectful. The first time that I can remember or recall him being physical towards me was September of 2018. And then once it started in September, it was basically about once or so every month after that. So I remember him hitting me in October of 2018, as well as 2 days before Thanksgiving of 2018, and in 2018, 4 days before my birthday, he also hit me. I tried to not involve the police. I never actually contacted the police on him in reference to him being physical towards me. I would always try to at least give him the benefit of the doubt, because initially in the beginning of our situation, he said that he would not hit me. So for him to then become repeatedly being physical towards me, it was just very confusing, and then he would try to double back and kind of apologize or act like it wasn't that big of a deal. So it just made me very, very confused on if he really cared about me or if he didn't care about me and things down those lines. So the abuse would kind of continue for basically the next couple of months. Where I drew the line with him was in May of 2019. He was physical towards me behind something else unnecessary, and he hit me so hard in my face that he knocked my glasses off my face, and he busted my lip, and I had to get 8 stitches. And for like 2 weeks, I could not smile, which was like the worst thing for me. So it really changed me, and it made me not trust people. It made me not believe when people say that they're going to be a certain way, because they could really not be any type of way, nothing close to what they're telling you that they are. So it just kind of made me a little bit more cautious on, allowing people to get close to me. And I no longer talk to him. I still did not press charges after the fact. I just basically got stitches, and then I moved back to where I was originally from for about a month. I started talking to this girl that I met in California before I moved back home, and she and I started talking long distance. And basically, she wasn't really into long distance relationships, so she was interested in me. She had been interested in me for a while, and I was open to seeing where it could go, although I was freshly out of my previous situation. So I ended up moving back to California from my hometown to basically prove to this girl that I was serious about trying to see what was up with her, to see about us being in, you know, eventually a relationship, a partnership, and just like trying to be happy despite of my prior situation. I got back to California June of 2019. Not that long after me moving back there, me and the girl got into a relationship, and we continued to be in a relationship up until recently. Recently we have just broken up. Within the duration of this year that I have been with her, or I should say had been with her, since we're no longer together, she started off being a little physical in California, and I thought that it was the environment, because where we lived, where we were, was not the best environment. So I thought that changing the environment would make things a little bit better for us, and she was willing to move back to my hometown with me. So we actually moved back to where I was originally from. Got back here, thought that everything would be good, things would be different, and they were not. It was a very slow process as far as us kind of getting to know each other. We were not friends at first, and the amount of time that I moved back to California and before we gotten into a relationship, it was not enough time, I feel like, to have built a friendship. So in the beginning of our relationship, we were basically becoming friends, getting to know each other as individuals as well as having a relationship. After she basically hit me the first time while we were in California, I tried to disregard it. I moved her back to where I was originally from. We moved into a different space, thought things would be different. Things were not different. She was still physical towards me, verbally abusive towards me, and I tried to be vocal. I tried to be open about certain things, and it just never worked in my favor. Even if I went with the right tone, or regardless of what I was saying, it would still somehow turn into an argument. Over time, I would say that things started to progress, things started to get better. And, sometimes there would be slip-ups, there would be mistakes as far as, some type of abuse, regardless if it was physical or verbal or even slightly mentally. But it just always would be some type of abuse. And with her, it would more so be verbal abuse first, and then it would then turn into some type of physical abuse. And the more that I would try to voice that I did not like that, or that I did not think that that was normal or something that should happen, it was basically disregarded, or it was followed up with "I'm working on it," stuff down those lines, or apologies, or date nights, or gifts, or something to make up what had previously occurred. So eventually I thought that things would get better, things would be different. So that's why I continued basically in the relationship. And overall, it would just subside for a little bit, but still, it would still be some type of abuse overall in general. And I never felt completely comfortable to try to walk away or to leave without actually running. And then in those situations, she would always kind of taunt me for wanting to leave or actually leaving. And then somehow we would always end up back together. Until recently, I just kind of have had enough. I'm choosing to pretty much put myself first. So I'm trying to work on that, as well as the trauma. And I'm pretty sure that I have a combination of PTSD from my prior situation with the guy, and now my most recent prior situation
with the girl.
So like she said, Shorty was very verbally abusive. This next clip is a conversation between the two. The abuser was upset at some shit that was not that deep, as you can hear from the conversation. It's not that fucking deep. And she was calling Shorty all out of her name, like all kind of bitches and hoes. And it's just like, how could you be with somebody? Like, I understand. It's like that's my bitch. Like, I fuck with, like, still I don't do that shit. But when people like, yeah, like that's my bitch, like that's my baby type shit. But to be like bitch to your significant other, I could never. I would never. I don't understand it.
They gonna tell me I hit her in the mouth. I bust. Bitch, I ain't bust your lip. My hand ain't crossed your face. My fist ain't touched your mouth at all, bitch. I pushed you and you bit your lip.
This last story is smooth, real short, to the point. Still valid though. Yeah, this one basically highlights how a person can not do it all the time. Like, just because they not hitting you every day don't mean you're not in an abusive relationship. Just because shit ain't bad every day don't mean you're not in something that's toxic. Like, don't ever think like, oh, other people got it worse. That shit don't mean nothing, dog. Like, you shouldn't have it bad at all. Put it like that. Fuck a worse. You shouldn't have it bad. Not that kind of bad anyway. Like, yeah, relationships definitely go through ups and downs, but not beating, not mentally abuse, not verbal abuse. That's not something that you just do to somebody that you love. So ain't no the people got it worse. Nah, your situation bad and it's valid, and we finna get into it.
For me, I don't feel like my situation ever truly felt like a domestic violence situation. And maybe that's just because I had it in my brain that a woman couldn't physically hurt another woman. But now that I look back on it and I am about 6 or 7 months or so out of the situation, I just see how it was just so toxic and so abusive. Everything was normal and love and everything, but then I just noticed that she would just always get angry, and I would be getting the backlash for things I had nothing to do with. And then it just kept escalating to like shoving, pushing, screaming, hitting, but like here and there. Like, it wouldn't happen for like 3 months and then it'd happen again, then it wouldn't. So for me, I just had in my brain that since it wasn't happening every single day, all day, that there was no way that this is bad. But then she started doing things like leaving when I was at work and being gone for weeks, months, popping back up, leaving again. And like in between her coming and going, when she would be there, it wouldn't even be blissful. It would be arguing, screaming, fighting, but not necessarily physical fighting. I think a total of being physical was about 3 times. The very first time was a night in December. We were on the patio. She was very upset. I think this was the actual first time. and I was trying to calm her down, tell her it was okay, and she wanted me to leave her alone. So she got up, grabbed my arms, and like dug her nails in me and like pushed me backwards to tell me to move, and like proceeded to go into the house. And I was just like, oh wow, like that just happened. And then she apologized for it later on, said that she was just upset, she didn't mean to, she hated herself for doing it, you know, classic type of situation, I suppose, now that I'm looking at it. And then the next time, it was months later, we were having an argument. I can't even remember about what, because it's just like we were always fighting. But in the middle of this fight, I was standing by the patio door, and she just turned around and like slammed my head into the door, like, because she was choking me. And I was just like, wow, like, what is happening? And then the same thing happened, apologizing, things like that. And the very, very last time was we were arguing again. She was assuming something that was incorrect. And in the midst of that, she just started punching me in my face. I was bloody, I was bruised, and that was the final straw for me. I realized that this was actually a toxic situation. It was actually abusive, and I had to get out.
So as y'all heard her say, just like the last 2-3 stories, the person got upset because she basically not believing what she's saying. Like, most abusers, from my point of view, or from all the stories I've heard, all the shit that I've witnessed throughout my life, most abusers want to be in control. It's about control. If they don't feel like they in control, they don't like that shit, they get angry. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to be right. Like, they just, it's they power driven. Like, the only way to take it, in my opinion, like I said, I ain't never been in no situation. I ain't trying to be no fucking Captain Save-A-Ho, but I feel like the only way to get out of a situation that you can't get out of is to take their power away. You know what I'm saying? Like, stand up for yourself. Like, fight back as much as you can. Like, I just feel like if it do end deadly, God forbid, I know that I went out fighting for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna just let nobody, don't allow nobody to control you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can take control. All you gotta do is take the power away from them, and you good. You take an abuser's power away, and what do they got? Nothing, because they fucking cowards in the first place. Most abusers do that shit behind closed doors. They not finna do that shit in front of nobody. You know what I'm saying? They weak than a bitch, in my opinion. Big facts. Fuck is you talking about? Like, but I just feel like, you gotta take their control. Take away their power. Speak up. Tell somebody. Somebody gonna give a fuck. Like, somebody gonna care. I don't care what all these people, it's fucking billions of people in the world. Somebody gonna care. Somebody gonna be there for you, dog. Speak out on that shit, period. Alright, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed this short episode. This Saturday, I'm gonna have an episode. Basically, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm gonna surprise y'all with a little something. I don't know. I got a couple ideas up my sleeve. Definitely linking with a few of my Twitter followers soon for co-host episodes. I know I have one of my transgender friends. We gonna link up to do an episode for transgenders. One of my white homegirls, we gonna hook up for interracial relationships episode. I got one of my nasty homegirls, she a freak. We gonna do a sex one. So yeah, y'all stay tuned, man.